everybody. My name is Annabelle Fraser. I am a naturopath and health coach working with women in Italy and abroad. And we are here today, myself and my friend Laurie, who will introduce herself in a second, with episode 20. We have done 20 of these videos in the Natural Health and Astrology series, in which we guide you in managing your emotions through the moon phases. So through each new moon and each full moon, Laurie has some great tips and advice, and I chime in with some tips around what essential oils you can use to support yourself emotionally.
Hello, everyone. I'm Laurie Barnes. I'm an astrologer and a psychotherapist and a moon lover, which is why we do this awesome video every month. And so this month we're here to talk about the Taurus full moon, which is special because it's also a lunar eclipse. So I'm super excited to talk about this full moon. There's different energies as always. So I will explain kind of like all the different energies that are going to come together this lunar eclipse. I first want to just say that a lunar eclipse, what does that mean? I think a lot of people know what eclipses are, but there's solar eclipses and there's lunar eclipses. And a lunar eclipse is when the moon, the light of the moon, which of course comes from the sun, is cut off. It becomes dark, and that's because of the moon. The Earth shadow gets thrown onto the moon. That makes sense.
And so that's a great explanation, because not everyone knows that, I think.
Exactly. Most people know about an eclipse, but you automatically think of the sun going dark. But there's lunar eclipses, which is when the moon goes dark. And this is a full moon, which usually the moon is at its fullest brightness, right?
Yeah.
And that is why the theme of our full moon this month is finding illumination from within, because the light of the moon will be cut off. So we kind of have to go inside and find it within ourselves. And I just really love this theme. I had so much fun with it this month, because I love the concept of finding illumination from within. It's kind of like that is what we do as human beings, right? Seeking that illumination, at least some of us. I wish all of us sought more illumination and peace. But anyway, I won't go down that road. So you may want to know if you will be able to see this, and so without being able to name every country and city, I can say that in North and South America you should be able to see it, and in parts of Europe, but not in Italy. So unfortunately, we won't be able to see it. I know. So I have on the blog a link to a website that I look at just to see the map and to see like where exactly is it going to fall. And it's pretty cool because they have a very short video that just shows the shadow as it's falling. So you can just look at the map and know where you are, and you'll be able to see if it falls on you or not. But it also will tell you by your city. So
you'll put that link in the comments, will you?
I will. I'll put the link in the comments, and then it's also going to be in the blog. So,
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it is a Taurus full moon. So let's start, kind of go back to the full moon part of it. And that means that the Taurus sign and Scorpio sign are highlighted. And I like to look at the energies of the two signs and how they kind of play out the whole continuum of energy. So on the Taurus end, we have the very practical, mundane parts of life that are highlighted, are kind of everyday, what we show up and we do. And then Scorpio is about going into the depths, going very deep in that soul searching part. So when I was thinking about this whole illumination from within and through the Taurus and Scorpio signs, it's really a great time to go deep into your soul, do some really intense soul searching, and meditate through this full moon. Now, full moons typically are known to be active and full of energy and times of fruitions and culminations. And so it is I think a different feel for this full moon. there are some other things going on that really activate this full moon. So you have this dichotomy, I think, of wanting to go deeply inside yourself and do that soul searching and have quiet time, meditative time, whatever that looks like to you. By the way, I learned a while ago that meditation is a personal thing. And a lot of times when people hear meditation, they think they have to sit cross-legged with their, hands up in the Om position. And yes, absolutely, that is a way to meditate, but it's not the only way.
No,
And I think,
I agree.
right, because some people just can't find a comfort, and they just never really get to that
Yeah.
flow.
Yeah.
It's about finding your flow. And I find my flow better by walking, going out in nature. And, some people still can sit quietly, but they don't want that position, or I don't even want to say, because I think it's an individual thing to know when you're in your flow. And so it's just when you're really like at peace, present in the moment, and able to kind of go deeper into yourself. And I believe that is the best way you can do this full moon.
Okay.
At the same time, we have this wiggly stuff going on, like kind of really wiggly. And that's because there are a lot of other activities going on with the planets at the same time. So, every now and then we get a moon phase where it's like that full moon or new moon is kind of like the only major thing happening in the sky. But more times than not, it's not the only thing happening in the sky. And we can't ignore those other things happening at the same time. So just to be aware, there's a lot of wiggliness or squirminess going on. So even if you are one of those people who can sit down and meditate with your legs crossed for hours, you may find it harder to do that, because it's a really mentally stimulating full moon. There's a few planets that, well, Mercury is the planet that we think about when we talk about anything mental, and Mercury is involved in this full moon. So it's definitely going to turn up the maybe the mental distractions, or the amount of thoughts that are coming through. This can be helpful when you're doing some deep soul searching, if you embrace it instead of trying to push it away. Use that
journaling, like if you journal, right, and then all of these thoughts are being processed.
Journaling is always, I love journaling. So yes, always a great way. And even better, you're right. I mean, when Mercury is present, writing is a great thing to do. And you kind of using that Mercury to allow yourself to really expand as you're going deep and deep into your flow, your soul, that your mind is going to be extra busy. So try to direct your mind, and maybe even say to yourself, this is what I want to know more about. It's like that phrase, know thyself. Like, this is a good full moon to really to do that. But then when you're coming back out of it, it's like, how do you put this to practical use? Because this is a Taurus full moon. And a lot of the stuff I'm talking about is the Scorpio side, because this is the sun, right? The sun is in Scorpio, and the sun is what puts the light onto the moon, and that's going to be cut off. There's a lot of Scorpio activity though at this full moon. So there's definitely this kind of scorpionic vibe going on with this Taurus full moon. So it's like, do that deep soul searching, bring in or allow your thoughts to direct where you're going. And then as you're coming out of it, take everything that you've learned, everything you've processed, everything that you set the intention to pursue in these deep soul searching sessions, and then bring it back out into the world and put it to practical use. Like, really think about, now, how can I use all of this process that I just did and apply it to my daily life, to my my routines, and to comfort and to pleasure. So there is a side of Taurus that we cannot forget, that I have not mentioned yet. So I've got to say this, because any astrologers out there listening are going to be like, Lori, hello, comfort, pleasure, good food. I mean, that's what Taurus is all about. they're so good at enjoying the pleasures of life. The five senses. So the five senses are really highlighted during this full moon. And I'm going to talk more about that when I give you ideas of what to do at the full moon and then the 2 weeks after. But let's just say that anything that comes out of this that can help you enjoy the life, the pleasures of life, and especially around the senses, good food, good sounds, good smells, good tastes, and good touches. Those are all very Taurian things. I think I might have touched on it, but I just want to say that some of the other things going on in the sky also include this a lot of just active energy, because Mars is involved, and Mars is the planet of movement, of drive, of energy. So while we have the mental extra mental stimulation going on, we have just extra physical like we might want to move, but also to be driven. So it's not all physical. There's definitely the physical aspect of this planet, but it's just being driven. So you might just really feel driven and passionate about something. And, as you're like kind of going deep, you might really get kicked into high gear on like, I really want to know more about this. Mars can really exacerbate, I love that word, but it just increase this drive and passion to just really like get in there and go deeper. You could be listening to this and be like, oh, that's so woo woo foo foo. But if you really like, sit down and like get into it, like that Mars drive can kick in and be like, oh, this is kind of cool. Oh, maybe I'll do this, or I want to really concentrate on that, and it's almost like daydreaming, but very concentrated, focused, and purposeful, soul searching.
Which I think is a really nice thing to enjoy, to really get into, just because, in the last couple of years, we haven't had any excitement and drive and passion, coming very naturally, right? Because it's all been the opposite, restriction and kind of limits, and that's how I feel anyway, that we haven't really been able to kind of expand ourselves and follow our passions and things like that. So that could be really enjoyable to let yourself go and go into that whole vibe that you were saying. And when you were talking about movement as well, I was thinking about the yoga, the oil that I chose for today, in terms of it being part of this trio of the yoga collection from doTERRA, which and this, I just love yoga anyway. I try to do a little bit every day, for just to get my body moving and just to kind of start the day in the right way, and it really helps me a lot. But particularly during certain moon phases, it's really lovely to go deeper and do a longer practice, in the evenings, for example, and things like that. And this oil blend is called Arise, and it's the enlightening blend. So there are 3 oils in the yoga collection from doTERRA. One is Arise, one is Anchor, and one is Align. So Anchor promotes feelings of completeness and calmness and courage, and just is quite grounding. Align has been designed to encourage harmony and tranquility. And Arise, the blend of oils that's in Arise has been designed. They've been put together to help encourage feelings of happiness and clarity and courage, which I think, when you're looking for illumination from within, clarity is a key is a key thing there. And and when you really feel happy and joyful, I think it's, all of these things come together. You feel aligned with yourself, you feel passionate, about life, you feel, good about yourself, you're enjoying life, living through the senses, etc., etc. So this Arise blend, it contains grapefruit, lemon, osmanthus, melissa, and Siberian fir essential oils. And I would suggest, a really nice way to use it is to apply it to the temples and wrists, and back of neck is also a really good point to apply oils when you want to influence your emotions. And obviously diffusing in a cold water diffuser, and that can be just during the day, at night, whenever you want. But if you are into yoga, they the people that created this blend, one of them was a yoga teacher. She really recommended doing poses that are kind of stretching with your arms in the air, side bends. Half moon is one of the ones also that's cited. And so I think people can just really enjoy that also during these days, in together with the things that you're now going to go into, some other suggestions, right?
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. Um, okay, there's something that you said earlier, and I was gonna. Oh yeah, that you were mentioning feeling limited, and that this is we're kind of coming out of it, hopefully, knocking on some wood.
Mm.
And yeah, I think we really have had to learn in the last couple of years how to find something from within, that courage and strength from within, and
Yeah,
entertain ourselves from within, because we couldn't go out and do anything.
yeah,
I know, all this online activity stuff really increased during the last 2 years. And I think that I think you're absolutely right that this full moon lunar eclipse can kind of like help us to process all of that. That would be a really great thing to meditate on, is how am I coming out of this last couple of years, and the strength that I found from within, the courage that I found from within to get through this time. Everyone had their own individual experience of it.
yeah,
And I know that a lot of people really struggled through it, and have now kind of come out, or we're coming out on the other side. So this would be a great full moon, because of the lunar eclipse, to really look in and evaluate all the things that you've learned, all the things that you've the skills that you learned, not to focus on the difficulties, but to focus on the wins. Where were your wins? What did you learn? What now can you apply to your practical life moving forward, that you never would have thought of before,
yeah,
had we not had this experience?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Great.
Okay, so I do, as usual, kind of like some ideas to do on the actual full moon, or the couple of days around the full moon, after the full moon, I should say, not before, and then things to do for the couple of weeks after. So on the full moon, stay home and take it easy. This is not really a good full moon to do a lot of external oriented things. It's really a good time to do comfort things. If you really wanted to socialize, which is likely because there's this Mercury influence, invite people over, have a really awesome dinner. But I would really recommend kind of taking it easy, and staying home if you can. And that would be Thursday night. It's growing. It's not Thursday. It's technically Friday early in the morning. I don't think I mentioned the times earlier, so I'll say that real quick right now. In the US, on the West Coast, it's going to be super early Friday morning, around 1 a.m. in the morning. And in New York, it'll be just before 4 a.m. So it's 12:57 a.m. West Coast, 3:57 a.m. New York. And then here in Rome, it'll be closer to 10 in the morning on Friday. So take it easy Friday night and over the weekend. And then, so do a releasing ritual. Full moons are about culminations, and it's a good time to release something. So as you're doing this meditation, kind of like think about like what is in the way of finding your inner strength? What is in the way of applying the courage that you have? Like what is blocking you from using it? Those are things to purposefully let go of, release of. And I will also include a link to the releasing ritual, and it's by element. So a Taurus is an earth element, so you would want to
Okay.
use the earth element ritual.
Okay,
Let's
great.
see, do that meditation that I keep talking about. And I would also recommend, when you do this, if it's not clear, you don't want distractions. You want to turn off the TV, turn off anything except for maybe, positive, or not positive, but relaxing music, quiet, peaceful music. Let people know around you that you're doing this, and, try to minimize any interruptions. And let's see, indulge in your senses. So on the full moon, all weekend long, this would be a great time to make your favorite food, or go out to get your, your favorite comfy food, to listen to really pleasing music. And, if you can get a massage over the weekend, great. If you can't, over the next few weeks, any kind of body treatment. And just the five senses, think about your five senses and how can I please them? What's going to make me feel good? Sight, sound, touch, sight. I said that twice, but the five senses.
Yeah.
Okay. And now over the next 2 weeks, so you have a little more time to really partake in this phase. Book yourself a treatment. If you can't get it in over the weekend, do it sometime over the next few weeks. Go to a museum or any place of art. So Taurus is one of the most artistic signs of the zodiac. And so, whatever is art to you, so it can be an art museum, but it can be something else that, that you just consider very aesthetic and of the arts and of beauty. It could be a park, whatever that means to you. Bake something, cook something. Taurus is known for, loving to do those kinds of things. If you are artsy yourself, do some art, or, those places where you can go paint your own ceramics, or do the wine and paint. Those would be really fun things to do under this full moon phase. Revamp your schedule. Yeah.
Sounds like a great time.
Yeah. I just have a couple more things, and we'll wrap it up. Because I don't want to forget about that practical side of Taurus. So during this full moon phase can be a time of revamping your schedule, of kind of like looking at the practicality of it and just revamping what needs to be revamped. And if you are in a part of the world where you can plant something, it's a good time to, of course, I'm not a planter, so I don't want to go against whatever the almanacs say, but the Taurus is like one of the most fertile signs of the zodiac. So, whenever you can get something in the ground to plant it, do it under Taurus. It's a great time. And just step out of your comfort zone and do something that you've been wanting to do that kind of comes out of this process. So, yeah.
Nice. Exciting.
That's
I'm not
it.
surprised you had fun writing this one.
So much fun. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Thanks, Lori.
Thank you. So we'll see you next time. The next full moon, the next moon phase that we'll do is the new moon, actually, and that's coming December 3rd or 4th, depending on where you live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Enjoy,
Thanks.
everybody.
See you next time.